Kia ora, Shlama ni hao. My name is Nashie Shamoon. I am a first-year political science PhD student at Te Herenga Waka, Victoria University Wellington in Aotearoa, New Zealand. I am an Aotearoa, New Zealand-born Assyrian with a keen interest in understanding the progression of my people's identity, culture and heritage, not only in the West, but in the future. My research titled Voices of a Diaspora, the 21st Century Assyrian Identity Through the Eyes of Young Assyrians in Australasia and Europe, is focused on identifying if a new Assyrian identity is currently in formation, informed by the opinions of young Assyrians based in Aotearoa, New Zealand, Australia and Sweden. But who are the Assyrians? The Assyrian people are an ethnic, predominantly Christian minority indigenous to parts of the Middle East. They have been targeted by various actors due to their minority status in the region, leaving generations of Assyrians unable to safely maintain their lives, culture and heritage in the homeland. A homeland found between modern-day Iraq, Turkey, Syria and Iran. As such, particularly over the past century, they have been migrating to the West, but carrying with them memories and stories of the homeland and trauma endured. Today, strong diasporic communities exist in North America, much of Europe, Australia and Aotearoa, New Zealand, with 3.3 million Assyrians estimated worldwide. In regards to my case country specifically, approximately 61,930 Assyrians/Chaldeans live in Australia, at least 150,000 in Sweden, and a smaller but equally important 1,293 in Aotearoa, New Zealand. I have an interest in Europe from an identity standpoint, given how many cultures, languages and religions make up this continent, with approximately 160 cultures, 24 official languages identified by the European Union, and many more others spoken throughout. Similarly, Aotearoa, New Zealand, Australia and Sweden are rich in diversity, each with indigenous communities to the ethnic background communities which have contributed to creating the multicultural societies these countries are known for having. However, what makes this interesting is how this is perhaps changing, but for the worse. Although focused on young Assyrians' identities, my research is constructed around the desire to understand how they navigate life as individuals with various identities, against the backdrop of the increasingly vulnerable multicultural societies. We often see Europe as this melting pot, but also know that strong, hostile thinking has increased, particularly aimed at refugee and migrant background communities, which threaten the very values upon which modern-day Europe was built. For this reason, my interest in Europe is heightened. Over the past 2 decades, the Assyrian-focused literature has established the extent to which memories of trauma and suffering are embedded into the traditional Assyrian identity framework. Despite the significant advancements made, the existing literature has largely failed to explore the identity of the younger, mostly Western-born and/or raised generation. At present, only a few youth-focused studies, mostly conducted in European countries, have chronicled young Assyrians' lives and identifications in the diaspora or homeland. Through cross-regional comparison, my research seeks to understand how young Australasian and European-based Assyrians perceive the Assyrian identity today. Comparing Australasia and Europe will provide a comprehensive insight into the meanings and contours of the Assyrian identity across different generations, and will lead to a strong contribution to the Assyrian youth diaspora literature, which remains understudied and under-theorised. My fieldwork will reach communities in Wellington and Auckland, Aotearoa, New Zealand, Sydney, Australia, and Södertälje, Stockholm, and Gothenburg, Sweden. My findings will draw from in-person and online semi-structured in-depth interviews and focus groups with up to 75 diaspora-born and/or raised young Assyrians to be conducted in 2024 in these 3 countries. Overall, this study has broader implications for migrant integration, social cohesion, diaspora identity, and intergenerational transnationalism scholarship. The HUI-EU Workshop provides Europe-focused, Asia-Pacific-based scholars with an exciting opportunity to enrich their PhD research and skills, learn from peers, and create meaningful connections. The workshop also offers this next generation a platform upon which they can have genuine, Europe-orientated conversations in a setting within which they will be seen and heard. I wish to use this opportunity to bring an identity and culture-based lens to the workshop. I would like to open up a dialogue on the issue of hostile thinking, as well as to brainstorm and further develop my research. This, to see if it can, in any way, help to lead thinking away from limiting hostile attitudes, both in Europe and closer to home, to bring a real-life, tangible element to this research, to ensure that it will contribute to doing good. Finally, I would like to extend my gratitude to the University of Canterbury's National Centre for Research on Europe and the Erasmus Plus programme of the European Union for this fantastic opportunity. Ngā mihi nui, thank you.